So lots to unpack. For me, that was logical and theoretical, but also emotionally challenging. We've touched on academia and financial dimensions. You know, this is not a simple field, so don't be surprised if you feel a little bit confused or overwhelmed or discombobulated in some ways. That's part of the nature of what we're up to. But well, it's perfect timing. We're all now just back from the breakout groups, and there's connections happening. Reflections from me from the breakout groups, and this whole meeting, in fact, is it's like a tiny fraction of the issues have been aired, but some important ones have been shared. Some connections happening. That's as much as we can hope to achieve. The start of some further conversations, continuing conversations that have been going on for 25 years. But we do have a couple of minutes just to hear from each group. Any headline implications or impressions that you've had from your conversations or from this session? Literally a couple of minutes from each group, then I'll tell you where the feedback form is. You can tell me all about how this session has worked and how we could continue those conversations and continue to make these connections in the future. But first of all, from breakout group 1, so which was probably the one that I was in, had Karen in it first and then Hazel second. Any impressions from that group? Or can anyone summarize or reflect on?
I've stunned you into silence. We have. We're good at that, Karen, aren't we?
Oh yeah.
Or should we start with the other group? If anyone from group 2 wants to chip in.
Adam, shall I? If I just start, I mean, you know, I sort of for everybody's benefit, I suppose I've sort of worked with Adam on a few things, and getting the timing right for these kinds of sessions is quite difficult. And I sort of guided Adam towards about an hour and a half. I think we could have been on here for hours and hours, certainly within our group. And you know, I think, you know, the message from everybody in the group really is, you know, thank you to Hazel and Karen for sharing this. You know, I said to Hazel, you can't really distill how much you know, blood, sweat and tears and effort goes into something like the Beacon Project and everything beyond it. And Karen's honesty and openness and willingness to share the experiences she has is fantastic, you know. So I think thank you for everybody, and I'll just see if anybody else from that group wanted to add anything.
I'll just add, just come in quickly, just to reiterate the thanks. But as you said, Adam, this feels like the start of, I feel like I've just got to know a little bit of what's going on and I'm desperate to know more. So it feels like the start of lots of conversations and shared learning. So thank you very much for that. I'll see if anyone else wants to say anything.
I've loved meeting you all. We do our courses online. We've been doing experiential learning for 10 years now. And that's where a lot of those wonderful places across the country have grown. But obviously we you know, it's online now. But you know, I'd love to be able to tell you more about the 7-step pathway and how we actually bring hope. But it's all in the practical fine detail, but that's can be learnt.
Because saying if anybody wants to like talk to me about anything else, or you know, got any more questions or anything, just I'm fine for you to share my email, Adam. Okay.
Okay, great, thank you.
Because say just drop me a line.
Can you maybe type it into the chat for us, Karen?
Yeah, no worries. I'll do that now.
That'd be great, and then we've got it right there. And Hazel, what's the best way? How do you like people to contact you?
Oh, totally, email or phone number. I did just want to give everybody the details to join the NHS Alliance, the Health Creation Alliance.
Shall I just put the website address in the chat? Yeah,
because it's the only cross-sector organisation in the country, and I've been steering it for 20 years. It used to be primary care focused. It's now going to become the Health Creation Alliance. There's some amazing people have joined it. So there really is a head of steam about this. And I think, ironically and dreadfully, COVID has been the accelerator for health creation and what we've done.
Yeah. As anyone who hasn't had a chance to speak at all throughout this meeting, just would like to say a word or two. We've got a couple of minutes left, but I appreciate it. It's a rich and sort of full format, this, and doesn't always give everyone the chance to have their voice heard if they wanted to, but do feel free. Otherwise, pop your details in the chat if you'd like other people to know who you are and how to get in touch. Save the chat if you haven't already, because you can do that with the 3 little buttons at the bottom right. We'll give you a chance to save chat. Otherwise, the Facebook page, CornWELL Fest, and our website, cornwellfest.com. You can email us. We're also on LinkedIn, so you can chat to us and we can meet and connect in those ways as well. I've put a link to a feedback form in the chat there. If you click on it now, it'll open it up for you in another browser. If you can take 3 minutes now before it sort of disappears down the to-do list, it's super helpful for us, really valuable just to know constructive, positive, or otherwise any comments that you've had. That'd be really, really good to know what your impressions are. We are intending to be, and are by design, self-organizing. There's no need to do things one way or another. I'm very flexible, very willing to do whatever we think collectively is going to be best. So, but it only really works through well, through all of these conversations. But that's really helpful. But unless there's anything else others would like to say, the objectives for today were, as always, to have conversations, make connections, particularly probably to draw attention to communities and to be quite real about what communities are, how what challenges are that they face, but how positive change has happened, is happening, and can happen in communities. And I really strongly believe that we have a role, even if we don't know what that role is, but we do. The role is to gather, to connect, to amplify those pathways, to identify places where it's happening, and to allow it to, in a self-organized way, happen some more. I know that you guys all do that anyway. We are here exploring how we can add a little bit of fuel to those wonderful flames. And next year, very excitingly, again, working with Roots and University Exeter, we will be getting a bit more scientific about what this community looks like. How do you visualize communities? How do you discover communities?
Excellent. Purely
in a way that adds to their collective well-being and their well-being outcomes. Did anyone else? I thought I saw a hand or two waving, but maybe it was just a pen waving. But thanks. There's some great thanks and stuff coming into the chat box. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining. And once again, as has Jen reiterated, I really appreciate Karen and Hazel, your time, for taking the time to come and share your stories and insights into how communities work and how well-being is happening and happens in communities. So really appreciate that. Thank you. And thank you everyone for joining. Thanks for your time. Thanks for your chats. And thank you for filling in the feedback form, which you can now spend the next couple of minutes doing if you've got the link, which is there.
Thank you for having us, Adam. We've enjoyed it, Karen, haven't we?
Yes, thank you very much. I hope I didn't bore anybody.
Oh,
No.
You're very humble and modest, but it was the privilege to have you on here, Karen. And thank you for everything you shared.
Throwing all my toys at the pram.
And I think the technology-wise worked as well as it could have done. So thanks all very much. Look forward to keeping in touch. Look forward to, we will have another monthly meeting in January. We're going to carry on this series next year. So look out for an invitation to that. But thanks very much for joining. And we will speak and see you all soon.
Thank you.
bye,
Thanks very
everybody.
much.
Bye.
If you've enjoyed the video, please give it a like, give it a thumbs up, share it with others and subscribe. And we will keep you posted as the story of CornWELL and community wellbeing unfolds into the future.